Distinct beats.
Do you feel the power? Mr. Magic Retreat is a labor of love. It always takes a whole lot of labor in order to put this together. But the beautiful thing is that when I stand on that stage, I see all of our guests from all across the country. It makes me feel good. It's gonna be a great, amazing next 3 days. So I'm happy.
Our motto is teach, lead, transform, and call me Mr. Bodies for all three of them.
It's a great day. We got great people here. Everyone just filled with like-minded individuals. So it's just really nice being around greatness, seeing so much greatness just being bred here. Like, this is where greatness is made.
So when I look around this room, I see something really powerful. And it's the future of education. And that future is very much brighter because of all of you in this room.
Man, so this is our second now annual MiSTER Magic Retreat, and it's a blessing to be in the building, see some of the same faces that we got to see last year, and just celebrate Black excellence.
Great to see the successful young black men here. With me being a black man in education, seeing how the Call Me MiSTER program is developing is phenomenal.
Thank y'all for coming. Thank y'all for supporting. We love y'all, and have a good night. Good morning. Good morning. And welcome to day 2 of the MiSTER Magic Retreat. This is my favorite part of MiSTER Magic Retreat. This is kind of like the lab, where we go into depth on how we do what we do. My goal is real simple. The goal is that I always tell people is that by the time that you graduate and that you leave, that you should be so revolutionary that if I put one of you in a school building, you change the entire culture, not only in your classroom, but the school and the community abroad. Like, one thing for me, it doesn't matter what university I go to. Everybody on that campus is gonna know my impact. They're gonna know my presence because I am so revolutionary, I'm so dominant. One of the first questions that I ask every MiSTER is, are you a thermostat? Are you a thermometer? Think about that. Are you a thermostat? Are you a thermometer? Man, we having a great time this morning. This is my favorite part of the MiSTER Magic Retreat. This is kind of like the meat and potatoes where we in workshops all day and we're learning how to be revolutionary educators. So you see on my shirt, teaching is revolutionary. And so really teaching them step by step, how do we push the boundaries and be countercultural? When we go into these school buildings and maintain high expectations and be excellent and making sure that we're doing everything in our power to make sure our students are empowered to be the next leaders of the next generations.
And so I share that because this drives my home. Knowing that I have the ability to be somebody. I have skills. Each one of you in this room have a special gift that you're gonna have to pull out at times that you didn't plan for. You cannot come empty-handed. You cannot come empty-handed. So I already love art, I love music, and we do know that children learn through, well, humans learn through movement. Movement stimulates brain activity. And if we engage in music, we are using every part of the brain. You have to know your what. You have to know the why behind your what. Hello. Hello. Jump forward.
Jump forward.
Jump backwards.
Jump backwards.
Lean to the left.
Lean to the right.
Lean to the right. To the gorilla.
The work is not in vain. The work that was invested in us as older MiSTERs paid off because we have people coming behind us, and so we want to sew back into the program by preparing them for the work that they have that lies ahead. They have a lot of talent, a lot of gifts, The world is ever changing, and we want them to be flexible enough to be able to use their innovative strategy in different contexts at different times with different types of students. And so we want to model for that. We want to inspire them to keep going, keep pushing, and to know that it's a daunting task, but they have been called and chosen to do this work.
Well, we represent Call Me Mister. Every time I go into my school building, you can definitely tell that it's a difference between the way that I approach the classroom, and the way that everybody else approaches the classroom. But it's because I'm walking that walk every day. I'm going and doing the extra things. I'm going the extra mile for any student. Not just students of color, any student.
That's it.
We can't focus so much on talking the talk. We gotta walk it. And so, as I said, we are servant leaders. Walk that and live that and talk that every day. Not just some days, but every day. Because you are a mister.
To be honest, it's probably one of the most, gotta be the best experience I've ever had so far. I was accepted to the program like a couple of weeks ago, and then to already be here and have a brotherhood with everybody feels really amazing.
Character. So what I want you guys to do is, as a teacher, and when you bring in Mr. Magic into the classroom, you really gotta take yourself out of the equation and try to be the teacher that you wanted to be growing up. You know what I'm saying? Be flexible, be moldable, be able to get outside of the box and outside of your shell that you're so used to, and become the character that you are playing. There are descriptions next to each character, right? And we kind of talked about the movie, right? And so you kind of know, and you got to read it on your own. So you kind of know how to play goals and how to play develops, right? So I want you guys to get a chance to practice it on your own, around people that you might not know. And this is a chance to mess up. We in the lab right now. And in the lab is where you grow. And the lab is where you get better. So that way when you go out into the game, it's easy. That's where you scoring all the points. That's where you get the buckets, and that's where they're calling your name for the awards. But in the lab is where you practice and where you grow. And this is our time, right?
Fingerprints are the evidence that someone has been there and someone has touched and something and changed that thing that they touched. Everybody say fingerprints.
Fingerprint.
And I said, Brooks. I said, we could be in the same classroom. We could have the same students. We could be in the same educational ecosystem and have two different marks. Why? Because we have two different what?
Fingerprints.
Two different fingerprints. And so the critical question is not, do I have a fingerprint? The critical question that I'm challenging you all to leave with today is, what will my fingerprint be?
Me personally, I've been asking myself recently, is all this work worth it? Is all, the struggle upwards worth it? And I think hearing you verbalize all that really set into me like, yeah, it is worth it. It is worth it, because you gotta go through the dirt to get to the gold, right? And I just really needed to hear that right now, and I can't express to you how much that meant to me.
I love you. But y'all gotta carry the torch on. That's why we put so much work and effort into retreats like this. This is why we call this teaching is revolutionary. That's not just a quote or saying, that's something that we live by. Teaching is the most revolutionary thing that you can do. Mr. Magic Retreat. It ain't the Mr. Retreat, it's the Mr. Magic Retreat. How do you bring magic into every single room that you go into? Y'all have to be the next generation to take it on. And soon, and one day, it's gonna be y'all up here, and it's gonna be a new group. And y'all gonna have to teach them the same way in which we poured into y'all. Understood? Understood. Amen. Thank y'all. Clap it up.
It's always a blessing just to be fellowshipping with these guys, and then for a lot of people it's their first time snowboarding, first time skiing, so just giving them this opportunity, something that they've never done before. You could just see in the guys' faces that they're really enjoying it. Some people nervous, some people scared, but hey, that's what happens when you're trying something new. So it's amazing.
One thing that I've always loved actually about coming up to the retreat is just being in a room with like-minded individuals. You never know what anybody else's path is, but being in a room and being able to be personal with other people and being vulnerable, I feel like is a great experience. I like actually being able to bond with people from other universities because everybody's different.
Dr. Warren's keynote, when he said leaving a fingerprint on people, oftentimes we do certain things and we're not thinking of the impact you make, whether that's positive or negative. So it's really, good to hear stories that, being an educator is making a positive impact, it's really changing people's lives and people are really being impacted by the things we're teaching. So that was really powerful.
When I sit in spaces like this, it reminds me of why I do the work. When I look at who's coming behind me, and I think about the way y'all gonna impact some young people and move and shape and get some young people to really see themselves in a different light than they would have if they wouldn't have had you in their presence. I get energized. I get refocused.
For the people that came the second time, I'm hoping that you see another growth. And for the coordinators, we always talk about how much we appreciate just being in this space. Because it always is an opportunity for us to grow. It's an opportunity for us to network. It's an opportunity for us to figure out how to make our cohort better. And so, not just on behalf of Sacramento State University, on behalf of calling me MiSTER, I thank Dr. Anderson, I thank MSU, and I thank everybody that supported this work that we do.
We hope that your magic has been rekindled or maybe activated. Because we've been to the mountaintop, and now it's time to come down and do the work. Amen? Amen. Thank you.